What's your relationship with money now? How has it changed? And through that, can you also talk about what you're doing with Rain Matter and all the other initiatives that you're doing? But how has your personal relationship with money changed?
I mean, I started my life wanting to be a trader. I mean, not wanting to be I started my life as a trader. So, if you came to Nithin's room back when I was 17 years, um, it had like a house with a swimming pool, a supercar, like a bunch of fancy watches. And
You got all of them. Now what?
no, no, I mean, but then I also had like, I'm also very passionate about sports and fitness, etc. So I had like this, I need to do a half Ironman in this much time. I need to be able to do this much with the guitar. So I kind of, I think it's like, as I've as the money has happened, I realized that, once you have the money, whatever money can buy, you can get it easily. And what money can't buy is really, I think it's really, really hard to get. So I don't think incrementally anything has changed, in my life over the last 3-4 years. I mean, it did change for a while, but then it kind of hit a plateau at some point. Like I think that plateau was like 4 or 5 years back. Where in terms of incrementally.
Can I ask you a question? What is that amount of money where that thing happens?
So there is, I don't know if you know this, like there was this very interesting study in the US saying what is the optimal amount of wealth to have to lead a peaceful life. Because, if you have too much money, you have just too many options. It's like going to a restaurant with an unlimited menu. Like, if you have, and you have an option to eat everything, right? I mean, you're just confused. It's horrible. So in the US, that number was $50 million, right? So apparently, at $50 million is where, you can lead an optimal life. You can lead a very comfortable. You can go into whatever, but it's still not so stress free that you have to worry about, like what government's going to do to you types. So it's. I think. I don't want to throw the number in India.
You should. You should. You should. Okay. We should
Yeah.
tell this, folks.
Okay. No, I mean, I think accounting for purchasing power parity of sorts. I think that number is probably like between $10 to $15 million in India. I think incrementally there is nothing much to do post that. So once you have that much money, I don't think. I mean, unless of course you have these ambitions to go buy a jet and stuff like that, right? I mean, and then which if you don't have, what do you do? Incrementally with more money, right? As in, I mean, I was for a while, for example, had taken fancy for watches because then as a guy starting my life, I thought like this watch which is really expensive is so cool. But then once I started using Apple Watch, I'm like, dude, what is wrong? Why are people wearing you know this now these watches which has no utility? It's more like jewelry. So so yeah, so I like I've been wearing an Apple Watch for like 4-5 years. So now it's like that. So you start questioning these things. So